We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay.
U.S. military commanders say they're on alert for more violence in Afghanistan following yesterday's twin suicide attacks near the Kabul airport. 13 U.S. troops were killed, more than a dozen others wounded, and President Biden said the withdrawal of American citizens, U.S. troops, and Afghan allies will continue. We've learned that this death toll is up into the 90s now, but we want to bring in Trooper Steve. Of course, you're a veteran. Thank you for your service. You served in the Middle East, and you've been through some tense situations. What's going on over there? I mean, this is a 20-year war, and now we're trying to work toward the end of it, but these attacks yesterday were a major setback in an already crazy, chaotic situation.
You know, being in the Middle East, you almost don't know who the enemy is. So we've gone into this. We heard all week that it was quite possible that attack was imminent, and we've heard over the past couple of days that even Intel said they knew something was imminent, and they were doing their best to track this down and figure out what was going to happen. But once something like this does happen, it kind of changes the modes and operations on how you handle business. Think about it. They've said we've evacuated over 100,000 people already from the country, which is unheard of. So if you think that is something to be commended, but when something like this happens, it pauses everything. You've got to take on a security role. You have to take on now a much higher raised level. Mind you, they're in the Middle East. Their heightened awareness is huge as it is, but now you have a VBED, which is a vehicle-borne IED, that takes place. This is not a comfortable situation.
And we're still talking about that August 31st deadline. I mean, that's Tuesday. I just looked on the calendar. I'm like, is that really that soon? That's Tuesday. I mean, how is this affecting that? Do you think that that deadline will still be met?
You know, I listened to every press conference that was out yesterday, from the president to the White House to, of course, the Pentagon talking yesterday. And there was a few things that stuck out to me. And it was encouraging to hear some of the things that I heard, that, you know, we do have a deadline on the 31st. But everybody in command said yesterday, but we will continue to take out Americans after that date as needed. That is nice to hear, but at the same time, it is dicey to think, all right, the Taliban want us out on the 31st, but meanwhile, we just got attacked. We just lost American lives. In my perspective as a grounds troop, I was no general, but this would change things a little bit. This now takes a more tactical approach, a more offensive approach rather than a defensive side of things. And I would be surprised if there were no counterattacks that we decided to do as the United States.
So that goes without saying there will be more attacks or possibly offense in this situation.
I think once you have one, there's going to be subsequently several other attacks. You know, ISIS-K, we're calling them. We've said now that they don't like what's happening there, and they're a terrorist organization, so obviously they don't like anything that's not in their agenda. So it's sad to think that we could be under attack again in Afghanistan, but our servicemen and women are probably aware of this. They're heightened, and God, I hope that they are protected and have the resources they need at this point. It can be a little interesting on what's going to happen the next few days, and I just hope we watch it very, very carefully.
All right. Thank you, Trooper Steve.